the governor of New York, the mayor of New York City, the mayor of El Paso. They all say it's on a brink of their communities breaking based upon this open border. It also brings us fentanyl, the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. Today, 300 Americans will be poisoned and died from fentanyl. It's like an airliner crashing every single day in this nation. And this president, think what he does. He goes to a picket line in Michigan, but he actually caused the picket line by his policies to subsidize these electric cars that are moving their jobs overseas. And now what the pain that he has caused by ignoring the border. I believe we could put an emergency bill on the floor, keeps government funded, secures our border, and that's exactly what we'll bring forth on Friday. We're taking up 4 more appropriation bills right now, which equals about 73% of all the appropriation money that we need to get done right now. And so we're doing our jobs, and we want to make sure the president does his as well.
So basically, Mr. Speaker, you're saying, let's get 30 or 45 more days with a temporary resolution, and then that'll give you elbow room and time to complete the appropriations one after another to avoid another omnibus package that is so unpopular and unsound. But meanwhile, you are adamant, and your conference is adamant, I take it, you want to tie all these fiscal reforms to border security, which in some sense, Speaker, I mean, inflation may be the #1 problem, but I think border security is not far behind. That's basically your strategy, is it not?
That is true. And look, we look at places that we can save more money. Remember, during the debt ceiling, we were able to cut more than $2 trillion, put work requirements in. We've got some NEPA reform we haven't had in 40 years. We put a new pipeline in. So we've got a movement forward, but we've got to build on that. But what we found happening on our border, the human trafficking, the challenge that every community is a border community. Look, Chuck Schumer is the leader in the Senate. His governor and his mayor is pleading to do something about the border. Right. We're hearing across the nation. When the president went to the UN, he didn't meet with the mayor of New York City. Why? Because he didn't want to hear about the challenges and the destruction that he's doing to New York City, that far away from the southern border.
So your first deadline, as I understand it, is Friday.
Well, we'll bring up the emergency government funding bill on Friday. The government funding runs out on the 30th, late midnight Saturday night. We believe we can get this all done. And we need some time to keep working because the Senate hasn't passed one appropriation bill yet, unfortunately.
And the Senate, as I understand it, also, they're working up some kind of CR. But there's no border security involved in that. So they're really not aiming at the exact problems of the country right now.
No, and I think they're a little tone deaf. They should focus on America first, understand what the challenges are. I believe that's what President Reagan would have done, and that's the thing I think. Look, I keep a portrait of Reagan in my office, and he's smiling. It's all in color. And people ask me why. Because I think if Ronald Reagan was here today, he would tell you to believe in the exceptionalism of America. And if you believe in your principles, that it brings people more freedom, you should be a happy conservative. But you should express that and show people a path.
Yeah, I love that. When I was a child working for him, I learned about that, and I still love it today. It's fabulous. Kevin, just one last one. Do you think you can keep the government open by the Friday deadline?
I believe so. Look, it's not much to be able to do some actions really quickly on the border. The president doesn't take legislation to do it. He could simply make an agreement that he's going to do a remain in Mexico, stop wasting money on storing the materials, finish those openings on the wall that you got to get done. You look at Title 42, and we could be in a new position to saving more American lives, stopping the fentanyl coming across, and saving these communities that are calling out and asking the president to do something about it. And these are Democratic leaders. A state of emergency in Massachusetts? Who would have thought?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And we see it in New York, too. I mean, the illegal thing is a catastrophe in New York. And you're right. The Democratic mayor and even the Democratic governor have now come around, although the Biden White House refuses to either meet with them or give them any help. So you're taking matters into your own hands. Will the Republican Congress keep the government open and also get this border security done? What's your forecast, Mr. Speaker? Last question.
That's exactly what we're proposing on Friday to get done, to be able to move that emergency bill to keep the funding for the government open. Look, we've passed H.R. 2, border security. The Senate never brought it up. We passed H.R. 1, deals with the energy, make us energy independent and stronger. The Senate never brought it up. We passed the Parents' Bill of Rights, let parents have a say in their kids' education. The Senate never brought it up. We continue. We understand, just as Ronald Reagan, economics matters in this nation. We watched what Biden has done, brought us inflation by overspending. We are beginning to curve that, and we'll continue to grow our economy, make us energy independent, but also rein in government and give the freedoms across to America and to Americans to make us this whole nation stronger.
I hope the candidates on the stage tonight listen to your words, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to bet a lot of them are watching this show today. And I really appreciate your Reagan-esque themes. And I'll just say good luck on the deadlines. Thanks for coming back to our show.
Thank you.